All right, folks, check this out. Donald Trump is having yet another late night meltdown on social media on his Truth Social platform. This is almost like an everyday occurrence. And when I'm reading what Donald Trump is posting in the middle of the night, I am always bewildered as to how people talk about President Biden's mental ability when he got so much done as president, but they don't talk about Donald Trump's when he's up in the middle of the night posting total slop. So I want to show you some of these posts that Donald Trump is just letting fly right now. And let's just start with this one. He posted 51 minutes ago at 11:49 p.m., quote, "Big win in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on the president's core power to call in the National Guard. The judges obviously realized that Gavin Newsom is incompetent and ill-prepared, but this is much bigger than Gavin because all over the United States, if our cities and our people need protection, we are the ones to give it to them should state and local police be unable, for whatever reason, to get the job done. This is a great decision. Yada, yada, yada." And this is unfortunately the case. We just did get a ruling from the appeals court that has blocked Newsom's bid to reclaim control of the National Guard indefinitely. And it reads, a federal appeals court has indefinitely blocked an effort by Gavin Newsom to reclaim control of the National Guard that Donald Trump deployed. The three-judge panel of the San Francisco-based Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled unanimously that Donald Trump appeared to have acted within his authority when he took control of 4,000 California National Guard troops under a law that has never been invoked without the consent of a state governor, which is a crazy ruling. There are two judges appointed by Trump, one by President Biden, and they concluded that Donald Trump has enormous latitude to determine that the protests and related violence were interfering with execution of federal law. The judge said that there are limits, but there was enough evidence of civil unrest and danger to federal officials to justify Trump's actions, which is insane because I really just want to see their evidence of this civil unrest. I didn't see it. I know you folks didn't see it. There were individual spots of unrest, but widespread, certainly not. And Gavin Newsom has already released a statement in response saying, quote, "The court rightly rejected Trump's claim that he can do whatever he wants with the National Guard and not have to explain himself to a court. The president is not a king and is not above the law. We will press forward with our challenge to Donald Trump's authoritarian use of U.S. military soldiers against citizens." So Donald Trump is like up in the middle of the night bragging about this temporary ruling, which is going to be appealed. And that's just the beginning of Donald Trump's unhinged rants. Earlier in the night, he, for some reason, just posted this photo of himself, 11:19 p.m. It's just a photo of him smiling, and it's just "Make America Great Again." Perhaps Donald Trump is trying to boost his ego, post photos, and then his wonderful fans in the comments will support him. As you can see right now, they're all saying absolutely, posting photos of him, praising him. This is like his little ego boost. He relies on his followers on Truth Social, but it's just incredibly strange. I mean, can you imagine like Obama or Biden just posting a photo of themselves smiling in the middle of the night with their slogan? I certainly couldn't. I think Republicans at that time wouldn't be able to either, but because it's Donald Trump, they praise him. And then for some reason, he started posting random clips, like one from Fox News, then another from Fox News, then one from a UFC fight he recently attended, another from a UFC fight, another from a UFC fight. I mean, it's just relentless. It's just relentless slop, relentless garbage of just clips from him previously, recently, people praising him on Fox News. It's like, this is the president of the United States, and he's all doing this in the middle of the night around 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m. in the morning. And it's like, we're on the brink of war with Iran, right? Like, we have reports that Donald Trump has authorized an attack plan for Iran, and the president of the United States is posting clips of him at UFC fights? Really? Just a complete lack of leadership being shown from Donald Trump. But it gets worse. If you can even believe it, just hang tight for this one. He posts lowest inflation in 4 years. That's total nonsense. We all know that's not true. But then, for some reason, he starts tagging random accounts on Truth Social, like this at I Stand With Trump 47 account. And he just writes, Department of Treasury just announced the largest blue-collar wage growth in over 60 years. Wow. He, again, didn't really cite any report here. He's just tagging this random account. But then he starts interacting with this account by posting things that they posted. So like reposting some of their images, and just take a look at some of these images that Donald Trump is reposting, the president of the United States, in the middle of the night. This one, trust the plan. I mean, this is cult-like stuff here, folks. Nothing can stop what is coming. I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. They're literally making fan cams of Donald Trump. They're making edits of Donald Trump and he's reposting them on his main timeline. How strange is this? Like, how narcissistic do you have to be scrolling on again, president of the United States, not just some random guy, president of the United States, scrolling on social media, just finding different edited photos of himself with these weird slogans and reposting them consistently. It's just so strange. But he did this multiple times. This was not just a one-off. The same account again. Another one, the golden age, Donald Trump, 45, 47, 48. We need this winning to continue. Well, is Donald Trump calling himself the 45th, 47th, and 48th president of the United States? Is that like a third term kind of thing? Is he insinuating that he wants to run for a third term and be the 48th president? Very strange. I just saw that now. This is the first time I'm seeing this one, actually. So I guess Donald Trump is reposting images again, hinting at running for a third term. But I take particular issue with this one because not only is it like very dictatorial, but also it says the golden age. I didn't realize that being on the brink of war with Iran and having tariffs on all these different countries and the stock market collapsing and people's 401ks going down and, due process being ignored, courts being ignored. I wasn't realizing that that was the golden age of the United States. But according to Donald Trump, it is. And again, continues to do this, continues posting random images from this random account on social media, one that is a fan of him. Is anyone going to tell, this is another one, is anyone going to tell the GOP that Trump is the only reason they have any voters left? So in this one, it appears that Donald Trump is taking shots at his own party, saying that he's the only reason that the Republican Party is alive. Like, you can see from just the images we've seen right now, just the few ones that he's reposted right now, along with the written messages that he's thrown out there, that this guy is unhinged. Like, Donald Trump, I've always said this, Donald Trump reminds me of your crazy uncle at Thanksgiving who's like in the corner waving a turkey leg, screaming at the wall. And you're like, well, there's Uncle Gary again. He's wearing the tinfoil hat because he thinks the aliens are going to come down because his QAnon group chat told him. That's what Donald Trump reminds me of. Any other human being that acts in the way that Donald Trump does would be admitted to a psych ward. But since it's Donald Trump, the Republicans stand by. Like, he's posting random weird images in the middle of the night. Let's just look at one more. Oh, yeah, this is the one I saw earlier where he posted this image of Barack Obama. It's an AI image of him surrounded by money saying, we know who's responsible for Iran's nuke program, which is so ironic. It's just pure projection from Donald Trump, because if anybody knows anything about like recent U.S. history on a presidential level, we know that Obama is the one that negotiated an Iran nuclear deal that stopped them from getting nuclear weapons. Because of this deal, they shipped 25,000 pounds of enriched uranium out of the country, provided unprecedented access to its facilities, its nuclear facilities, for investigation, and the International Atomic Energy Agency verified that Iran completed the necessary steps under the deal to ensure that their program remained peaceful. This was under President Obama. Donald Trump came in, got rid of this deal, and then what do you know? Iran started their nuclear program again. So this is just pure projection from Donald Trump. And he continued to post other things. And this is the last one I want to show you, because I think listening to Donald Trump too much genuinely makes us worse off, less healthy. And he wrote about Juneteenth, which was yesterday. Too many non-working holidays in America. It's costing billions of dollars. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change. So Donald Trump, the guy that golfs every weekend, is telling other people to work more. And it's just interesting that he posts this on Juneteenth, a holiday celebrating the official end of slavery, but he didn't post it on something like Columbus Day. Really tells you the character of Donald Trump. So what we just looked at is one of the craziest midnight rants, late night rants, and posting sprees from Donald Trump I've seen. We just looked at all these different things, and that happened in the span of like 3 hours. The president of the United States, which is just so mind-boggling to me. So anyway, I just had to show you these midnight posts because it just gets weirder by the day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Please let me know in the comments what you think about some of these posts. I can't fathom it. But anyway, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll talk soon.